Okay, here's part 2 of the Olds Ambassador info and demystification video. Okay, we're going to be doing the mouthpiece test now. Let me show you what I got. Okay, I got hot water to dip each one of my mouthpieces in because they're always better when they're warm. So this is a Blessing 51D. That's a big giant mouthpiece for a small tenor horn, but I have one with a small shank because I use it on a small shank baritone. This is a Vincent Bach 4. Large mouthpiece, small shank. I enjoy this one very much on my small tenors if I'm only playing like third parts. This is a Dennis Wick 6BS. So these are 5, 4, 51, 4, and 6. Okay, now we come over to here. This is a Yamaha 48, which is pretty common. It's kind of like the 6.5 AL of the Yamahas, but D is for D cup. So this is an extra D cup. A larger cup on this one. This is your standard everyday Vincent Bach 6.5 AL. It's kind of like the all-around mouthpiece. I got a Vincent Bach 7C. We'll see how this one goes. I don't want to use one of those other 7Cs because not all 7Cs, 12Cs, not all sizes are created equal. So I want to get the ones that are going to be most commonly obtained for anybody who's a particular user. Okay, so these are the large, these are the medium, and these are the small bores. Okay, small mouthpieces. Now what we're looking at here is a Vincent Bach 11. Okay, I happen to like the 11. It's not an 11C, it's an 11. Here's the other common mouthpiece you're going to see out there, and this is the Vincent Bach 12C. Now you oftentimes will always get these when you buy a new student trombone from just about anybody. It's a 12C. And then this is your authentic Olds 3. Now the Olds 3, there it is basically the 12C of the Olds. There's a bunch of these out there. You can see it's a nice fat rim. It's a small cup. And it's really designed to work well with the Olds. It's kind of interesting. Most people don't think about it, but instrument makers who brand their own mouthpieces design those mouthpieces to work with their horn's engineered features. So case in point with that is, like, for example, this is a 12C, but this one is a Holton 12C. And I can tell you for certain that this is shallower and brighter than the Vincent Bach 12C. This is a Frank Holton, what do we got here, 84. Now they have an 82 that's smaller. It's more like the 12C. This one's a little nicer to use, in my opinion. I like the feel of this one. And then, of course, this one here is the one I talk about all the time. And this is a vintage King 28. And I don't know what it is about this mouthpiece, but it just feels good and it plays well with just about anything I put this in. And it's virtually a small cup like a 12C. But so let me get started on test playing these. If you're a new student or you're somebody who's comfortable playing third part most of the time and you want that rich bottom and you've got an Olds Ambassador, 51D, these large cup mouthpieces are really a good one to do. Look, what's this? It's like so much quiet. Anyway, this is going up for sale. It's got new lacquer on it too. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's new. Okay, so it'll be a beautiful vintage Olds Ambassadors. Look for it on my posts and Facebook, and definitely check my Reverb channel store at Ron's Garage on Reverb, okay, because I'm going to be putting a whole bunch of stuff up there. December and November were great, but January's been light because I've been prepping new horns. Okay, here we go. Sounds very warm. So that's the Blessing 51D. It's not the Shulky 51D, which has a larger body on it down at the bottom here. It's less expensive than the Shulky. But that's what you get with a mouthpiece this big. You get that really rich sound, basically from F to F. It's still good from F to B flat or F to D, but above that, you're going to start suffering. Okay, next up is the Vincent Bach 4. Now, what's the difference? The cups are shallower on the 4. The rim, I can't tell you exactly what the measurement is, but it feels a little bit smaller than the 51, believe it or not. Okay, so that's a 4. Little bit, just a little bit brighter. Not much, but still a nice bottom on that one. Okay, not as creamy as the 51D, at least for me. Keep in mind, I'm the one playing the horn. It's going to be different when you play it. So here's the Dennis Wick 6BS. Not a very common mouthpiece. They're out there. So this one, the 6BS, a little bit smaller, a little bit brighter. It has a sharper rim, a little flatter on top to create a little more bite and definition with your articulations. Okay, those are the large cup mouthpieces. Now we're going to move to the medium cup mouthpieces. Let me warm this up. First one up is going to be the Yamaha 48B. You can get the Yamaha 48, but if you look specifically for the 48B, it's going to have a deeper cup. The deeper cup's going to make the tone a little bit darker, but it's also going to make it a little less easy to play higher. But it's the next one up. Yamaha 48D for D cup. Deep cup. Next up, Vincent Bach 6.5 AL. Really, it's really the all-around mouthpiece. Big enough to give you some bottom range, small enough to give you some top range. It's right in the middle here. Okay, 6.5 AL, a little bit brighter. I don't get quite the bottom control I like down low. But again, I'm an amateur player. Now, the Vincent Bach 7. We're getting into the higher tenor range mouthpieces here. So this is kind of bordering between medium and small. Okay, so there's your 7C. Actually, that one feels pretty good to me. I like it. It's a little bit smaller than the 6.5 AL. It seems to speak nicely inside of this horn. So next up, we're going to go with the Vincent Bach 11. really good too. It seems like the smaller they get, the nicer they feel. Now we're going to get to the smallest standard sizes. We're going to go to your everyday Vincent Bach 12C. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move to the mouthpiece that was actually designed to come with these horns. And this is the coveted Olds 3. And they're out there. There's a bunch of them out there. You can find them on Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, eBay. I mean, they're all over the place. Now, if you look at this one too, look at this. This was designed to fit snugly in what they call the Morse taper. See that? Now, if I go to the 12C, it's higher. If I go to the 11C, it's higher. The Olds, which was designed specifically for this Morse taper. You know what I didn't realize? A friend of mine told me this, that the Morse taper was determined as the standard for mouthpiece receivers in the Treaty of Versailles in World War I. Now, I didn't fact check that, but it sounds pretty cool, honestly, that the standardization for a taper for a mouthpiece receiver was created over 100 years ago. Okay, here we go. And it gets very lasery up there with this mouthpiece. Very lasery. So you decide which is the best mouthpiece for you. My favorites right now in the large are the 4. And in the medium, I like the 7. And I like the 11. Seems to be consistent with me being odd to like the odd sizes. So, though 4 isn't odd. Okay, so those are mine. So you need to find a mouthpiece that's good for you. But once again, the Olds Ambassador, great trombone. You just need to pair it up with the right mouthpiece for the style of music you're playing, whether you're playing concert band or you're playing jazz or Latin. So if I go back down here to the 4, it's just awesome. The 4 works so nicely with this in that middle range for a concert. So again, it's up to you. Find a mouthpiece that works for you. All right. I hope you enjoyed this part 2 of the Olds Ambassador mouthpiece test. And look for this horn on reverb. Okay, signing out. Bye-bye.